You're watching the Sports Circus, and I am Brian Erlacher.
There's your long ball. Stretch. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from the AMP TV mobile studios here in fabulous Las Vegas. That's AAMP TV. Stands for All Ages Media Programming, folks. Make sure you Google that and check it out. Today's show is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even contracts given to people they don't understand, plus a whole lot more. For more information, contact Legal Shield at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305, or check them out online for more information at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us. All right, and a big welcome into everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from Honolulu all the way to Boston, down to Atlanta, down to Corpus Christi, Texas, and boy, everywhere else in between. Tell you what, we are joined right from the top of the show with a regular sidekick. That'd be two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyrone Poole. Look at this guy.
I raise my cup to you, Sal. I raise my cup to you. You know, that's my thing now, baby. I got to have my cup. So for all those who are not watching, you got to watch us. It does you no justice just to hear us. Now, we want you to hear us on radio, but you know what? You miss me toasting my cup to Sal, Sonar, and you know, the greatest show in the world is Sports Circus. How you doing, Sal? I got to take a sip on that one.
Yeah, everything's great. And actually, a big welcome into everybody watching us on hotel television from coast to coast in 650,000 rooms in all your upscale hotels. Guess what? We're there, and we get literally 4.8 million impressions per hour. Tyrone, so imagine 4.8 million eyeballs looking at that Patriots shirt. Tell everybody about that one.
I know. You know, again, people know I played for the New England Patriots. I played for one of the greatest coaches, minds in this era of national football, Bill Belichick. You know, I throw Mike Shanahan there in as well. But the Patriots, great organization, Mr. Kraft. You know, hey, championship, title town, Boston, Massachusetts, the state. It used to be in Green Bay, but Titletown now resides in Massachusetts, New England, Foxborough.
Well, you know, that kind of goes out to our audience over there in the greater Boston market, WBNW, listening in on, what is it, 11:20 a.m. and 102.9 FM. You know, they play us twice a day over there because they just can't get enough of the Sports Circus, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, I mean, look, buddy, they win in football. They win in hockey.
Yes.
They win in baseball. Man. I mean, what's next, really?
Man.
I mean, we haven't seen the Celtics win in quite some time. I'm sure that's right around the corner.
Yeah, the Celtics, you know, basketball is picking back up. You know, it seemed like the championship game was just a couple of weeks ago, but, you know, basketball, the Bruins, basketball, the Celtics, the hockey, the Bruins, you got the Red Sox in baseball, the Patriots in football. I'm like, what? Like you said, Sal, what's next? Like paper football? You're going to have a competition to see who's the paper football champion?
You know what we could do? Yeah, and here's because you're in Atlanta and I'm in Vegas, we could actually do the paper football championship, right? You know, kick the ball, and then somehow magically it's going to have to get over to my side, and I'm sure Sonar could somehow figure out a way to let that ball travel from Atlanta over to Vegas, and let's see if you can actually kick it through the goalpost. Now that would be cool.
That would be cool.
We're almost there for teleportation, fellas. Almost there.
You know what? I think we could possibly do it if we had that same newsroom scene, you know, because we could do all kinds of cool stuff. Actually, Sonar could do all kinds of cool stuff with the electronics of this. But, you know, me being in Vegas here, it would be a very interesting kick to see a 2,500-mile kick, not 2,500 yards. I want to see that mega kick come over from Atlanta and see if you can make it here.
Well, Lamp AMP Laboratories has started to develop actual teleportation where you could be in two places at once.
Yes. I didn't even know we had teleports. Did you, Tyrone?
Man, I think with that Area 51, everybody heard about Area 51. Yeah, exactly. Quiet as it's kept. But I believe it's a lot of things that we don't know exist. So maybe you, myself, Sonar, we need to just kind of disguise ourselves and sneak up on Area 51 and see, do they have teleportation out there somewhere?
Well, here's the funny thing. Now, my old studio was directly across from the back end of the airport here in Vegas. And every day at about maybe 4:45, right before the show went on at 5 p.m., every day. Now, you didn't just hear it from me. You can actually come out to Vegas and you can witness this. But there is a very particular white airplane with red stripes. There's no markings on it. It just has its regular FAA numbers, but it is known as Janet. And Janet allegedly flies from the Las Vegas McCarran Airport over to Area 51 every day. Now, we don't know what that is. Somebody just said it. I don't know nothing except what I just heard, but it's remarkably consistent. And the story, for the people that know a little bit more than I do, that's way above my pay grade, buddy. But there are some things that happen here in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Now, those things actually stay in Vegas. But all this other garbage, everybody's a videographer these days. So nothing stays here in Vegas outside of that. I mean, hell, everybody got video. Everybody got audio. It's like, hey, look at me, look at me. They're all doing their selfies. And they're also doing video of other people without authorization. But guess what? Nothing stays here unless you're in the government and you've got that high pay grade. Because, boss, let me tell you, there are some things that I could see here on a regular basis. I don't know nothing. And I never knew nothing. Yeah. I will never know nothing. It's just like being in the neighborhood, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's that disclaimer. You don't always want to tell people what you know. So, hey, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But
nothing. I didn't see nothing, and I don't care if it happened right in front of my face because my eyes were closed. I didn't see a damn thing, if you know what I mean.
Hey, that's the mob. That's what you say in front of the mob. That's what you say. I didn't see nothing. Did you see something? No. Are you with this gentleman? No, I'm not.
That's right.
You know you're right there with the person.
Remember that movie, A Bronx Tale? Right? It's one of my favorite movies. I love A Bronx Tale. It's kind of like where I grew up, right? And so I don't know if you saw it, but the little kid, Cologino, he saw something happen. But when the police came to talk to him, he's like, I didn't see nothing. And he's only like 7, 8 years old, whatever the heck it is. And I have to tell you, a big round of applause for Cologino for keeping his mouth shut and doing what he was supposed to do. And it's funny because he even turned to his dad after the cops left and said, you know what? Dad, did I do good? Did I do good? I didn't rat on anybody. Did I do good? Right? And that's what happens in the neighborhood, folks. That's why I said here in Vegas, we see that red and white airplane, or that white airplane with the red stripes at about 4:45 every day. Bro, I didn't see a damn thing. So how do you like them apples? All right, so listen, man, we got a couple of minutes left in the segment. What happened in your neighborhood that you could have swore it may have happened, but you never seen it happen?
You know what? I don't know, Sal. I try to keep myself to the point where I don't have to answer questions. And what I mean by that is if I keep myself secluded, then I only have to worry about what I truly have seen. And that's what I try to tell myself, my family, my kids. You know what? The more you can keep your life simple, the better life you will have. So, I just try to stay in my own little box and answer my own little box questions. So when they come to me and I ask them first, is it about me? No, it's not. Was I involved? No, you were not. Then I don't know nothing. So it kind of go back to what you say, Sam. I don't know nothing.
But sometimes the box comes to you. You don't have to go to the box. Yeah. So the chaos sometimes will come right to you just by default. You happen to be right next to it, right? So you got to turn a blind eye. You know, I didn't see nothing here. I swear I didn't see nothing here, and I don't know nothing. And why are we talking about this? You know why? Because we can. That's why. Because everybody listening to this at some point, they have been put on the hot seat, whether it's maybe a sports fixing thing, or we've seen a little bit of that kind of chaos. That's right. I didn't see nothing except for the official call a roughing the passer call or a phantom targeting call, which changed the outcome of the game. Man, we have seen plenty of that in most recent years, especially since gambling is inside the casinos today, and the teams have to submit their lineups an hour and a half prior to, whether it's baseball, hockey, basketball, football. Tyrone, come on, man. Tell me we haven't seen things that you scratch your head and say, wait a minute. Did I just see this?
I have. Yeah, the holy roller, the tuck rule. You know, it's a lot of things out there. You know, athletes in basketball, okay, that invisible foul. So, yeah, you're right, Sam. There's a lot of things out there that, you know, from the referees to the players to just everyday people listening to the Sports Circus, we have seen something. So I didn't see anything. If you want to keep yourself out of trouble, but sometimes you have to step up.
I didn't see it, but I'll tell you what, on TV, I see the fixing on a regular basis. It makes me sick. And everybody listening and watching on TV right now, I promise you, you have seen fixed games. You may not realize it because it was so done in plain sight. Anyway, back here in a few minutes on the circus, we may have a special guest with us. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come. Back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American warrior, Tyrone.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus. Join me and Hall of Fame world champion and all-star celebrity guest for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms. Also, thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 800-335-7196. 800-335-7196. That's 800-335-7196. Paid for by Legal Alert Line.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. That's 800-957-6209.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Al Bubba Baker, quarterback breaker and the rib maker.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from the AMP TV mobile studios here in fabulous Las Vegas. That's AAMP TV. Folks, make sure to check out thesportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, our podcasts, and some of our partners. In fact, we have a very special guest joining us right here on the circus today. And in fact, that would be two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole, and our supersonic special guest, and that would be Ron Jaworski, Eagles Hall of Famer, CEO, quarterback, chairman of the Jaws Youth Play Committee. He's basically done it all. Yes.
All right.
That's what happens when you get old. You do it all.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Oh, man. This is good stuff. So here I've got a quarterback and I've got a cornerback. So I'm kind of the man in the middle. Maybe I'm the linebacker. I don't know. All right, Tyrone, as the DB, as that corner, what do you have to say to a guy like this guy that knows a little something about throwing a deep ball?
But you know what? Again, we are so blessed to have not only his nickname is the Jaws, but I don't think a lot of people know his, correct me, the Polish rifle. So that strong arm. So Ron Jaworski, man, a great honor, man. But hey, man, I wish I could just catch an interception from you, man. It's just like catching an interception from you. It's like catching it from Dan Marino, man, or Joe Montana. I'm like, come on, man.
Hey, Tyrone, I'd throw away from you. You know that. I'm gonna find that soft void in the zone and find that open guy. I'm not challenging you.
Oh, that's great.
That's an honor,
that's
man.
Great stuff. Oh, and by the way, a big welcome into everybody watching us on Hotel TV and 650,000 rooms from coast to coast, as well as everybody on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates. I got to tell you, this is kind of a treat here because here we have a guy that throws really big parties. He does really big motivational speaking. This guy knows how to do it. It doesn't matter if it's 20 below zero in Minneapolis. This guy knows how to do it right over here.
But see, our best cigar parties to the Super Bowl, which are raise money for my foundation and Gridiron Greats, Coach Ditka's foundation, we like South Beach, where it's 80 and sunny, not Minneapolis, where it's minus 20 below. The cigar tastes a lot better when you're overlooking the beautiful ocean of South Beach.
You know, I brought home one of those little packages. I'm not a cigar smoker. I just went because it was fun and exciting. But I brought home some really great cigars, apparently, and I started doling them out to everybody. And they're like, "Hey, where'd you get these?" And I told them, I got them at the Jaws and Dick Jaws Cigars for the Stars. And they're like, "What the hell? What are you doing there?" I said, "I don't know. I was invited by some people and I had some great times. I showed them some great pictures. And I'll tell you what, that was a really fun social event because all the right people were there. There were no super fans there. All it was just a bunch of guys getting together, having a good time."
We run the cigar party, Cigars with the Stars, the Super Bowl for 11 years, Coach Ditka and I. We had to postpone it this year because of COVID, but we look forward to getting it going again. And it really is, it's amazing. We have about 1,200 people, and Tyrone knows it's a lot of players, a lot of former players, because they know that the people that are involved, like myself and Coach Ditka and Tyrone, it's all about helping people. And we raise money for at-risk youth in our community. And it's amazing when you reach out to the NFL alumni and former players and the Player Association, how guys get behind events like that. So, I mean, the invitation goes out. We fill it like immediately because guys know we're doing good things in the community.
Yes. Tyrone, have you been to one of the events? I know, I believe you have you not?
Yeah, Ron, we did the Wounded Veterans event.
Yes.
And, again, it's all about helping people not only understand themselves. Yes, round of applause. Not only to help them understand themselves, but to help them allow them to know that there are athletes. We are just like them. We're humans, and we just want people to be happy. We want people to experience what fulfilledness is in life. And Ron Jaworski is doing a great job with his foundation and everything that former athletes are doing, period, man. It's just a blessing to be able to give back.
Hey, how's the weather out in Vegas right now there, Sal?
It's 65 and perfect. That's what we do here. It's always perfect in Vegas. You know why? Because the lights shine bright and people dig coming here, whether there's a health scare or whatever it is. They still come here, blow their money, have a great time, suck back some drinks, and they have great food. When are you going to do a gig out here? I went to a Gridiron Greats thing over at the Red Rock Hotel Casino, but I'm waiting for maybe something a little bit bigger from your side of the fence.
Well, I've been at Coach Ditka's event. He does a phenomenal job. He's had it for years at the Gridiron Greats event. Mark Davis, owner of the Raiders, a very strong supporter of Gridiron Greats, and does a lot of great things for former players. So I do get to Las Vegas a lot. The reason I asked that question, it looks so nice there, and I'm sitting here in New Jersey with about 6 inches of snow on the ground. So you look a lot more comfortable than I am, although I'm in my home office right now.
Boss, let me tell you something. This is Vegas, and it's always nice. Even when it gets down to 10 degrees, it's always a great day in Vegas because there's always people flying in, coming in to have a good time. And you know what the cool thing is? When I fly somewhere and I'm flying back home, everybody's excited to come to Vegas. They're excited to be on that airplane, and I'm just going home. So it's a very weird dynamic, but it's very cool at the same time.
Well, I used to get out there a lot and see my friend Brent Musburger, who I'm sure everyone in Las Vegas knows. One of the all-time good guys. And, I just started a podcast called Jaws Picks. So I pick games every single week on podcast one. And so far this year, I'm at 52.5% winners, 110 wins, 97 losses, and 3 ties. So I'm going up against those big guys out in Vegas, man. I'm doing all right.
I'll tell you what, you get a chance to go up against Sal the bookmaker, that would be me. And I ran all the action in the neighborhood when I was a kid, and you won't even believe the numbers. Nobody would believe the numbers, but they're all documented. Imagine 187 against 29 losses, 86% against the line. You know why it's that way? It's because I watch the money. I don't care who's hurt. I don't care who's doing whose wife. This is about watching the big money and nothing else. You watch the opening line, you watch the flow, and you're on it.
Yeah, you just crushed me. I'm so proud of my 53% right, and you just throw out 86%. You crushed me, man.
We're going to spend some time in the sports book, and I'm going to show you how to do this.
It's like look at all the Super Bowl trophies Tyrone has in the background. I only got one.
Hey, at least you got one. I'm like, there's a lot of guys out there that can't say that, So those Super Bowl trophies are hard to come by.
I don't have no trophies like that. No, the only thing I've got is a giant cranium. That's it.
That's good to have.
I know. Hey, so Ron, I know you're running on time. Is there something you want to get out there real quick? Because I know you got a real busy schedule.
Well, I try to stay busy, which is good. When you're an old beat-up quarterback, you got to keep moving around or someone's going to hit you. So I try to do whatever I can to stay busy. And, I own and operate golf courses in the Philadelphia area. I got 7 golf courses. It's my passion and my business. I call games for Westwood One, Monday night games on radio, so I enjoy doing that. I have my local weekly radio show, which focuses on primarily the Eagles, but every team around the NFL. And I started this podcast this year. It's really been kind of fun, so it keeps me close to the game. And you can follow me on Twitter at Jaws CEO Quarterback.
Jaws CEO Quarterback. Check out those golf courses, too, because when it heats up a little bit, you got to get out there and play some rounds, huh?
I'm a 10 handicap. I got to get better, Sal. I'm getting old.
I played 10 rounds in my life. The best I shot my first time out was a 92, which I don't even know what that means. I did hit one building and a van at the same time. Yes, I did. I swear to God. And I did not take the mulligan that comes with it. Nope, that was my total score.
You're not allowed you're not allowed mulligans unless your partners give them to you. You got to play by the rules, Sal. Come on.
always playing by the rules. I much appreciate it. The great Ron Jaworski, thanks for showing up today.
Yes.
And we're always welcome back here on the circus.
Hey, I'm going to come back when I got more time so we can have some fun.
That sounds great. Again, thanks for your time, and always a pleasure.
You guys.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
All right, Tyrone, the great Ron Jaworski, what a great personality and just a cool guy to kind of hang out with and chill. Great stories. And I know you as a corner and that guy as a quarterback, boy, that conversation can go on for a week about, no, man, you can't do that. Oh, you can't. Yeah, I could do that. I love the fact that you wanted to pick him off.
Yeah, I just love the fact that Ron's energy and what he does in the community and just giving back, his experience as a great athlete, a great quarterback, and now giving back to society, man. And that's what it's all about. Once you go to the moon, I think you need to come back and visit the launching pad and where it all started and try to help somebody else get to the moon. So that's what Ron is doing. That's what he's all about. Everything about him, I love it. And again, I would just love the opportunity just to play in his era. You know how we were talking about the teleporting. I would like to teleport myself back to a game where I could play against Ron Jaworski and just see his mannerism as he come up and get up under the center, how he tried to look off the corner to try to see what his mannerism is. And Harold Carmichael, which I'm pretty sure that's what Ron would try to do. Harold Carmichael, he was what, 6'8" or something like
6,
that.
7,
He was
6,
a tall drink of water. So I know Ron would try to match up Harold Carmichael against me. So but I would just let the opportunity to play against Ron.
Well, I have to tell you, when I was a kid, you and I are about the same age. When I was a kid, I liked the Roger Staubachs and I liked the Fran Tarkentons, but I always liked Jaws because this guy brought a different level of excitement. And you know what I liked about him is that dude threw the deep ball. And you know who else threw the deep ball? One of my favorite quarterbacks as a kid was Jim Hart. Remember Jim Hart from the Cardinals?
Jim Hart, Cardinals. Yes, St. Louis Cardinals. The old St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, the old St. Louis Cardinals. And also Dan Fouts threw that 50, 60-yard bomb. I love that stuff. To me, that was a quarterback, not this dink and dunk garbage, 5 yards here, 3 yards here. Come on, man. All right, folks, we're going to be back here in just a few minutes with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole. We're out here. Don't go anywhere.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. That's 800-957-6209.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
Hello, Jack McDowell here, Black Jack McDowell, and you're watching the Sports Circus, which is totally cool. So you have a great time watching. Have some fun.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from the AMP TV mobile studios here in fabulous Las Vegas. That's AAMP TV. This segment brought to you in part by Cali Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show in their very own home studio. Why sit in traffic going back and forth to the same old boring job every day and hating it? Or why sit around the house and trying to figure out what your next move is when your next move is right there in your very own home studio? Contact Cali Vegas for more information at 949-445-1119. Have your very own talk show in your very own home studio and produced by AMP TV. 949-445-1119, 949-445-1119, or check them out online for more information at calivegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. Big hello to our friends over in Faraday, Louisiana, and Natchez, Mississippi on 107.1 The River, Mid-South Broadcasting. Jim, Bob, and the boys. Big hello to our friends over in Auburn, Alabama, WAUD. That would be home of the Atlanta Braves. Big hello to our friends over in Corpus Christi, Texas. CBS Sports KSIX. It's 95.1, 96.1, and 12:30 a.m. Hello to everybody over there and everywhere else in between. Hotels from coast to coast. And guess what? We are back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyrone Poole. And Tyrone, we had a great guest. And Rock Jaworski in our last segment. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Absolute cool. And like you said, Sal, why wait in traffic when you can listen and watch the Sports Circus and see all the wonderful guests that we bring on? So Ron Jaworski, like you said, man, great guy, man. Man, I just love him, personality, just what he's doing in the community, man. Need more people in this world. You know what? If we had a government run with the attitude of Ron Jaworski, I think we would be marvelous. We may have that green and silver and white would probably be the colors, but of our new flag, the Philadelphia Eagles. But Ron's a great guy.
But you know what I love is I love the energy, whether this guy is on radio or TV. He did such a good job doing the Monday Night Football analysis. Remember, it was him and Merrill Hodge. That was a great 1-2 punch. Merrill's a great guy on the microphone. He really projects well to the camera, just like Ron does. And that was a magical duo. I can't believe that the four-letter network let go by the wayside. I mean, in my opinion, that was one of the biggest blunders in the last decade that those guys did over there. What do you think?
When you have talent can't be hidden. People can delay you, but they cannot deny you. So whether it's ESPN that tried to deny Ron's gift, they can't do it. They can delay it, or anybody. You can delay a person's gift, but you cannot deny it. And Ron Jaworski has a gift of gab, and man, you just don't see that in everybody. So Again, my cup raised to you, Ron. Man, you're a great guy, great player. Man, continue to go out there and be infectious into this world.
That's great stuff. And it's very rare when you come across somebody that is as personable in person, just one-on-one, right? Versus what you see on television.
Other than me and you, Sam. Other than me and you,
Hey,
like
listen,
Ron is first, and you and I are close. We're close second.
I know, right? I haven't even gotten there yet. But the cool thing about it is, you know, Tyrone, in your business, look, you played pro football for a long time. Talk to a lot of other motivational speakers because you do a lot of this. And you got an event coming up, in fact, with Walt Harris over the weekend, and that's going to be available on Facebook and some other venues too, and also in person. Is that not correct?
Oh, man, you are spot on. You are bullseye. You are man 100, Sal. What we have coming up this Sunday, the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, which is a sponsor of the Sports Circus, and Walt Harris, who played with the Chicago Bears and the 49ers. Walt is creator of the official pro player Inc. So we're combining our efforts, and both of us are from LaGrange, Georgia, and we're going back doing a youth empowerment summit. So this is the first one, but it will not be the last one. And I'm hoping to have that thing like the Super Bowl Roman numerals, you know, the youth empowerment XXXV. So this thing is all about motivating the youth and middle school, high school, college. And matter of fact, anybody who's looking to have a better life, and let them know that your circumstances do not dictate your ending, your success. So you just got to have knowledge. And as they say, knowledge and its proper use wins battles. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to empower, inspire, and just motivate people to victory.
But you know, Walt was a great guest on the show, but Walt's a great guy in person. Just like I was saying, there are certain guys out there that will project themselves in the exact same light as they are in person. And I have to tell you, out of the crazy list of people we've had on this show, I would say about 2/3 of them are not who you think they are, folks. They are not. As a matter of fact, and I'm not going to name this one particular person, but we had a guest on that refused to come onto this show because he wanted the show to pay him. How do you like them apples? And there are a lot of people like that. Oh, yeah. He asked for money. He goes, he sent me a message saying, well, how much you paying? I said, I'm paying nothing, bro, because you're going to be on prime time, talking about yourself and all of your interests and all this other stuff. And ironically, just a few months after that, magically, that same guy was on the show, and guess how much he got paid? Show me the money! And I said, no, we ain't showing you the money. No. Stop it. That's not how we do it here. But he was on the show. But there's a lot of people, Tyrone, it's what I was trying to say, is some people will project differently in person than they do on air. But this was one of those personalities, a big personality. I mean, he's a super accomplished individual. But some of these guys and ladies, they are very different to what you see or what you hear on air. So everybody listening right now and watching from coast to coast, let me tell you something. Sometimes it's a pleasure to have these super guests on. And even when you have a guest on and you don't know really their personality, and you have to learn the hard way, and you're literally 2 minutes into it, and you're looking at your watch saying, oh, they're still here? But you're stuck with them because you don't know what to say. And I've had this happen a few times, Tyrone, where there have been a couple of people on, and I'm going to say no names, but I will promise you, I was literally 30 seconds into this, man, I'm ready to slip my wrist. I'm just like, God, just get me away from this. It was absolutely awful. But you got to stick it out. But folks, you would never know which interviews those are because I never play it that way. Neither does Tyrone. Good, bad, or indifferent, that guest is with us. Ron today was a phenomenal guest. And man, I can't wait to get him back on the show, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Ron was a great guest. And, I've had my share of just being around athletes where their ego is bigger than themselves. But at the same time, there are guys that I know that are very, very, very well-spoken, very, very nice guys. They may have had a big ego on the field. Now I'm talking about the difference between those who had an ego on the field and they carry it off on to off the field situations. But most of the guys that I know, these guys are great, man. They play great on the football field, and that's what people know about them, what they did on the football field, but there are guys that, man, they are some of the sweetest guys, and they would give you their right arm, because you have to be like that in sports. You play baseball, Sal, baseball locker room, probably the same as football locker room. You got 53 guys, 11 guys on defense, 11 guys on offense. You got special teams, but talking about defense, because I play defense, we will give our heart and soul, our right arm, like I said, to our teammate, because at the end of the day, regardless of what differences or backgrounds we come from, we have one goal. One goal is to win a championship, and you can only win a championship if you play together. I like to call it soot. We all got to speak the same language, understand the same thing, and think the same way, and we all try to accomplish a goal, and we all got the same enemy in front of us. So that's why it's imperative for us to come together like this show, the Sports Circus, to give the audience, the listeners, and the viewers a great show. We have to come together. I have to be able to give you pound. And wait, with my pound at Sal over here. There we go. So
wait,
we
look
play
closer.
Together.
There it is.
Yeah. There it is, right there. That's what I'm talking about. Right
Everybody
there,
watching on TV can see what we're doing. We're getting a fist bump. It's the virtual 2,500-mile distant fist bump. And you know what, Tyrone? Really what this is giving people a different perspective. Look, you can tune into any sports show on radio or TV, and what are you going to get, man? You're going to get the scoreboard. You're going to get the same top 2 or 3 stories beat into the heads. You know why? Because the sponsors need that stuff out there, because if the network affiliates don't have it, guess what happens? They start losing money real quick. Now, if it's a national broadcast, you've got these national media buys. And for all those that don't know, so for example, pick Company X, whoever that is, to be nameless, right? Company X has to hear their name a bunch of times so they get a bunch of impressions. Well, guess what? Maybe they'll get 6, 7, 8, 10 impressions, whatever, from the staff. And maybe they might get, I don't know, 1 million impressions over a month cycle. Well, guess what? Every show right here on the Sports Circus, they get 4.8 million impressions. Why would they advertise with them when they should be advertising with us? Get us out of here, Tyrone.
You know what? We're going to tell these 4.8 million viewers and listeners and the 400,000 every 5 minutes. You have done nothing but viewed and listened to a great show, the Sports Circus. You got the Ringmaster Sal. You got Tyrone Poole, 2-time Super Bowl champ.
That's ridiculous.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173.
If you have diabetes, listen up. If you have insurance, you can qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends and spend more time in range, significantly lowering your A1C. More importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and if you've seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for your own CGM right now. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances will cover your CGM, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the Aptiva Medical CGM Health Hotline right now.
800-320-2751. 800-320-2751. 800-320-2751. That's 800-320-2751.
This is Tyrone Poole. Work that thing. 2-time Super Bowl champion. You are listening to the Sports Circus with my man, Sal. And welcome back to the Sports Circus. I want to welcome all those who are listening to us on CBS, NBC, Fox Sports affiliates, Hotel TV from coast to coast, all those that are viewing us on Facebook at AMP TV. Next segment is sponsored and brought to you by the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation believes in reforming, refilling, and guess what? Restoring success in people's lives. So how we do it? 3 ways: fitness, education, and humanitarian work. So if you want to learn more about the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, just go to TyronePoole38Foundation.org. Again, that's Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.O to the R to the G. And it's a pleasure to be here with no other than Sal, the great ringmaster himself. I'm telling you, man, Sal is doing it great, doing big things. Sal, welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Well, thank you. And a big welcome back also to everybody listening in hotels from coast to coast. Thanks for joining us right here on your favorite channel. All right, Tyron, let's throw a little trivia by you. Now, what does it take? What does it take to own a professional sports team? Now, who can own and what are the restrictions in the major sports? It's just an open question. I got a whole spiel to read a little bit about it, but what do you think it is, just in 30 seconds?
Well, money. I answer that in 2 seconds. Money. If you got
something
money,
tells me you got to have a little bit of this.
You got to have a little bit of cheese. You got to have a little butter. You got to have a little mucho dinero. But if you got money, you can either be a part of a league or you can start your own league. So what you got for us, Sal?
Buddy, you better have a fleet of Brinks trucks. That's how I see it, if you know what I mean. Because, a lot of players have to have their own Brinks truck, back up, dump the money out, and go. So you got to have a fleet of them. Now, all 4 major leagues have strict rules regarding who may own a team and also place some restrictions on what other sort of activities the owners may engage in. Now, to prevent the perception of being in a conflict of interest, now we have some owners that own baseball and football or football and basketball, whatever. We have a mix, right? Now, to prevent this, the major leagues, all 4 of them, if you will, generally do not allow anyone to own a stake in more than one franchise, a rule adopted after several high-profile controversies involving ownership of multiple baseball teams in the 1890s. Buddy, we're talking, 130 years ago here. Now, notably, Major League Soccer has been unable to adopt this sort of a league structure. It operates as a single entity league and for the sake of stability has been forced to allow soccer enthusiasts such as Lamar Hunt to own multiple teams, at least for now, that is. However, there have been 4 recent exceptions to the rule in major leagues. Now, after being blocked in their bid to eliminate or contract 2 franchises in 2001, Major League Baseball purchased the Montreal Expos from its owners. Under the league's control, the franchise was then moved to Washington. They became the Nationals, etc., and a group led by Theodore Lerner. Now, the National Hockey League also purchased the Phoenix Coyotes from the former owner, Jerry Moyes. Jerry Moyes in 2009, that is, following a declaration of bankruptcy by later and legal proceeding in the face of competing bids by Research in Motion, CEO, and other people that would have attempted to relocate the franchise to Hamilton, Ontario. Now, there's a reason for all of this. Now, first of all, if they would have relocated to Hamilton, Ontario, that would have put them very close to Buffalo and maybe drag away some of the viewing audience and some of the season ticket holders from the Buffalo Sabres and also from the Ottawa Senators. Now, in December 2010, the NBA purchased the New Orleans Hornets, you may recall, from founding owners George Shinn. Now, Shinn had announced his plans to sell the majority stake in the team to local businessmen and in April of 2010, but the deal fell through in early December. The league took steps to purchase the team because it believed that the cash-strapped Shinn could no longer afford to operate the team, but could not find a buyer as well. The NBA plans had remained in control until a buyer was found. In 2011, April, Major League Baseball took over the day-to-day operations of the LA Dodgers. A lot of people don't remember this, with Bud Selig, the commissioner, citing financial governance issues stemming from the bitter divorce of Frank and Jamie McCourt. That was a big fat mess over in Los Angeles. Now, although not mentioned in Selig's official statement, one unnamed source indicated that Selig was considering forcing the sale of the team. So, Tyrone, all of the 4 top major leagues grant some sort of territorial exclusivity to their owners, precluding the addition of another team in the same area, as I had mentioned. For example, obtaining the consent for the Baltimore Orioles and the Washington Nationals. And they're only 35 miles apart. That's our television audience over there in Northern Virginia, Tyrone. So think about this. You have this ongoing issue of not only do the sports owners need to have their teams spread apart from a geographical standpoint, but this goes back to that argument that I had mentioned about the Buffalo Sabres when they were thinking about moving the Phoenix Coyotes up to Hamilton, Ontario, literally just across the Canadian border. So you, Tyrone, with your fleet of Brinks trucks, you can own a hockey team, a baseball team, a basketball team, or a professional football team, right? You just got to make sure you have the right partners, right?
Yeah, partnership, if you can't do it by yourself, you definitely got to have partners. And the infrastructure, I think, is one of the main things that causes any type of business, whether it's sports or just corporate America, the infrastructure, because sometimes you can have too much on your plate and you have too much invested as one person, individual trying to buy into a company. So when I think about football and what you just described, like David Tepper, he was with, I think he had some ownership in the Pittsburgh Steelers, but before he could become the owner of the Carolina Panthers, he had to sell and give up his ownership with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, unlike what a lot of people think, football, yes, it is a business, but it's kind of different than the corporate America business. Like in corporate America, you can have a business on the same, you can have about 5 businesses on the same street, but in sports, it's a little bit different. So the question is, I would say, is owning a sports team like owning any other business? And I think it's so many, like you said, the rules are so different.
Yeah, it's kind of like, in the bigger business, we have antitrust laws to think about. We have oligopolies, we have monopolies, we have all these things to consider. Now, that's all overseen by the Federal Trade Commission. Now, think about this. Back in the day when they had the Baltimore Colts and the Washington Redskins, right? So you have the 2 teams that were in close proximity. There was no real issue there, right? Yeah. But now, you may recall back in 1996 when the Cleveland Browns were relocating, right, over to Baltimore to become the Ravens, right? Late 90s. But, again, there was no issue with the Washington Redskins because they had already established that proximity issue, because even though they were close, there are two very different fan bases, like I'll say the New Jersey Jets and the New Jersey Giants, because they both play in New Jersey, right? Right. But even though they're the New York Giants and New York Jets, you still have two very different fan bases. And that's why when the Ravens were established over in Baltimore, there was no real resistance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like you said, when you have the old Baltimore Colts who snuck out of town, the Irsay family just quietly around midnight, you know what? We're going to load up the trucks. Like you said, the Brinks truck, well, they loaded up the Mayflower truck and they headed up north to Indianapolis. So, but yeah, like you said, the Baltimore, the great fan base, and they welcome the Ravens, the new Baltimore Colts, but the Baltimore Ravens with open arms because they were thriving and thirsty for a team.
Well, here's an interesting fact. Actually, somebody had told me from being in that Ravens locker room that inside the locker room and inside those halls, they still have the Baltimore Colts greats, the Johnny Unitas, whatever. They still have that. And what they also did is they incorporated some of the old Cleveland Browns greats and brought them over, kind of like that Wall of Fame, Walk of Fame, whatever it is. And a big round of applause. And I didn't know this for the Baltimore Ravens, which I am not a big fan of, I got to tell you that much. But for that and those gestures, that makes me feel a lot better about the Ravens organization because they didn't forget where they came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree 100% with the keeping the names and the legacy of the Baltimore Colts in existence. Now, I may have a little bit of, sideways looking out my eyes when you bring the Cleveland Browns players into Baltimore. Now, I understand Art Modell, he was with the Browns and he wanted to bring some of that history, but Cleveland is Cleveland. The Browns are the Browns. And I think you got to let history stay where it is and try not to intertwine the two. But so I get it with the Baltimore Colts. That is where it all started. So Baltimore Colts, Baltimore Ravens, that is history there. But I don't quite like, but I understand. But if it was me, I would let Cleveland stay where Cleveland is and just continue to water those seeds called the old Baltimore Colts, the Johnny Unitas, and all those greats, the Raymond Berries, the quarterback. What's the quarterbacks?
You remember Roger Carr from the Baltimore Colts from way back when? I still got his football card.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still do. I got a Johnny Unitas football card. I got all of them. When I was a kid, I collected them. But to counter what you're saying about the Cleveland Browns being over there, and now first of all, I can understand the conundrum of having your division rival in your Walls of Fame, Walk of Fame, whatever the hell it is, right? I can understand there's a little confusion there, but I also understand history. How do you not celebrate the origin of that team and the greats, the Jim Browns of the world? How do you not carry that greatness over? Because, let's face it, that is the origin of the new Baltimore Ravens, if you will. So you got to kind of keep some of that. So it's really a slippery slope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think, at the time, the Cleveland City, when the Browns left to become the Baltimore Ravens, basically Cleveland was left with nothing. So basically, I understand Art Modell probably said, we want to keep the Cleveland legacy going. But still, I'm like, you archive that stuff, the Jim Browns, because as we see it now, Cleveland got a team. They are a football city, the dog pound. So there was just only a matter of time before they were going to actually get a team back. But I still don't think you mix water and oil. You let the oil stay on one side, Cleveland stay in Cleveland, and let Baltimore stay in Baltimore.
Especially when the river catches on fire in Cleveland. Hey, come on, man. I mean, Sonar knows about that. He was telling me all about that. We were trying to come up with names for teams and stuff. But anyway, folks, we're out of time here on the circus. Big thanks to Ron Jaworski joining us in the second segment.
Yes.
Folks, if you missed it, check it out on Apple Podcasts. And a big thanks to this guy, Tyrone Poole, 2-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior. We'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. That's 800-957-6209.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus. Join me and Hall of Fame world champion and all-star celebrity guest for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms. Also, thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.